This system will notify you once you begin your broadcast. The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Okay, let me know you can hear me, please. Somebody. Thanks, Steve. Thank you, Lori. Steve, let me know anytime you take a reversal trade, the second you take it. I want to take it with you. I'd love for you to be able to tell me, but I don't see how you can unless I give you a mic. Chantal wants to do it too. Chantal, your account's small. You'll kill it. You could kill it. I just want to remind everybody, please, if you send me an email and you want me to help you, tell me what version of Ninja Trader you're using. I'm not a psychic. It takes me 10 minutes to look it up. I'm not looking it up. Please tell me what version of Ninja Trader you're using. Otherwise, you're just wasting my time and I have to send another email. I can't stand it. You know, it's nobody's fault now, but if you do it now, it's your fault. So I'm telling you now, please tell me what version. I don't remember. We have a lot of people out there going crazy. Gerardo, I want to try and help you. Okay? So you're going to have to ask me some questions. Let me know what's going on. I'm trying to decide if I want to do this on Ninja Trader 8. I think I'm going to do it on 7 because I think I'm going to trade real money, which I don't think anyone else should. There's no hira for this. Jay canceled this trade. Uh, Probably some of you don't even know who Jay is. Let me let people get here. Jay is the boss, one of the bosses. He sends the hires. Okay? He designed the program. He gets really mad at me if I don't do what the hire says. However, we've discussed it and we agree that I'm in the trade room. Things are different when you're in the trade room. Sometimes you can't do what the hire says because things are so different in the trade room. So we have a really good understanding. More often than not, I do what the hire says. But every now and then I'll go off the hire. Definitely gold is the market for this. But it's risky, Aspen. I'm telling you, this is risky. It traded okay. It tested not badly. It traded not badly. Gerardo, you're having trouble setting up the strategies? Is that the problem? In other words, setting up the trade? Yeah, Aspen, you're doing the right thing. Use Sim. So Gerardo, do the same thing. Make sure you're in Sim, and then I'll show you how I set up the strategy every trade room. I don't have it open yet. It's not open yet. You have to right click this chart. See this chart here, Dorado? Right click. Strategies. Now we have it. Okay. Now click Joe Bracket Breakout. So it shows up down below. Now you can adjust the strategies. Okay. On your platform. Do that on your platform. I'm using GC. GC 218. I'm using a big bracket. A big bracket of 7. I'm entering at 59. Don't forget it's military time. Do you see what I'm doing, Gerardo? It's a 2 o'clock trade. Oh, you don't have them. You don't understand how to load them? Excuse me. Okay, tell me the truth. Now you have to tell me the truth. Did you watch the video? Did you watch the video? Tell me the truth. I won't punish you. Where or which one? Okay. Gerardo, um, let me at least, are you brand new to Ninja Trader? No. Okay. Okay. If I send you the strategies, can you load them? Okay. Gerardo, let's do this. Send me an email. I'll send you the email. Send an email to support at joebracketbreakout.net. Okay. And tell me what version strategies you want. And I'll send you all the files you need. Okay. With an instruction. If you still have problems and can't figure things out, I'll do whatever needs to be done. You understand? You understand. I'll do whatever needs to be done. Okay? I will not leave you hanging. Promise. Okay? I did not understand that you did not have the strategies. I still will send you the video because I think you should watch the video when you have time anyway. And people should watch Eric's bootcamp video, even though it's old. It really explains the trap trade and the breakout trade before we added all the new features, but it's still very helpful. I think it's still very helpful. Anybody who wants to disagree with me, please do. I don't mind. If you think I'm wasting people's time, tell me. I think that video, the bootcamp video, is helpful. And then Jay has 3 videos. I believe if you click on JOBB version 6 and scroll down, there's 3 videos that Jay has up there that are great. And they're very short. There might be more than 3. I recognize that this is not easy the first week. So I just don't want anybody to panic. Right now I'm flooded with tech support questions. Okay? I'm flooded. So just be patient. Things will get solved. So I'm just trying to decide. My testing was okay on this trade. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. Gold moves. The question is, it's easy to get caught on the wrong side with the trade. That's the problem. And I do want to tell you this. I've seen your emails. If I haven't answered you yet, it's because I haven't had time. Okay? I will answer them. So don't panic. Always remember to tell me what version of Ninja you have. Save me the energy of sending you an email. What version of Ninja? Please. I'm begging you. So, I'm just going to trade 2 contracts on this guy. I'm going to go for 3 ticks on my first contract and 12 on my second. And my stop is 12. It's a little big. It's a little big, but it's gold and it's the FOMC. And the bracket is big because I want to save myself from being pulled in on the wrong side of the trade. Okay. That's my reasoning. So let me set it up, show you how I set it up. First thing I do is I click Joe Bracket Breakout. Strategy shows up down here, and you click on it to turn it black so you could adjust it. Okay. Then I put in ATM strategy I don't use. I'm working on something that maybe one day I'll have a method where we can integrate ATM strategies and do some interesting things. I haven't done it yet. We don't need it yet. I'd like to do it. So I'm not saying you can't use ATM strategies, but you've got to do a lot of testing to see how it's going to work. Okay. My goal initially is for the JOBB software to replace the ATM, but someone yelled at me so intensely the other day and said I'm such a jerk for doing that. He basically said I was an idiot. So I'll keep an open mind. I don't think I'm an idiot. I think sometimes I do something that I shouldn't do, but I don't think I'm an idiot. Um, I think the JOBB strategy is almost as good as an ATM. It's not perfect. I realize ATMs are a little bit more specific. Aspen, I'm going 1 second before because keep in mind, this is a report. They're going to read it. And I'm going to wait 30 seconds probably before I do anything with it. They are going to read it. So I'll probably give it 30 seconds. We do have an area of magnetism on the chart. This high of the day is going to suck that gold price right into it. I promise you it will. Probably during the trade or right after it. It probably won't do it before it. I don't think it'll do it before it. But it's possible. It's only 10 ticks away. No, David, I haven't done anything else since ISM. When would have I had found the time? Bob, that's a good point. The ATMs don't let you enter the time precisely. But see, there is a way to use ATMs with JOBB. And what fascinates me is I think there's a way to use ATMs, and we've talked about this a little bit last year, and not use OCOs. In other words, our orders are canceled when one side is filled. I believe if you choose the ATM mode, and you have to test on this, I believe if you choose the mode ATM, first of all, the values are not used. You have to use your ATM up here. But I believe you can not have to use one cancel the other orders, meaning you can trade both sides of the trade. That's what I think, but I have not verified it yet. If somebody takes the time, Stephen N., you know I didn't forget you. It's going to take a little longer than I dreamed because of all the new people. So gather information, have fun with your subscription. Okay? There's no pressure on you other than to come up with a couple of workspaces for me. That's all I'm asking. Come up with a couple of workspaces for me and maybe a 10-minute presentation that we could do in the room in a week or two. Fair enough? You used it 4 times today? Wow. I mean, you know so much more about it than I do, Stephen. That's the truth. Send me pictures when you do that if you can. That would really help me a lot. Stephen is working on the one click range trade. It's a very powerful secret weapon. I'm serious. I think it's a very powerful secret weapon that we have. And that's why I swear I designed it. I take that back. Steven designed it. That's the truth. He gave me the idea and then we ran with it. So, this is my setup. This is what I'm doing. I think I'm going to do it. I could get stopped. I liked my testing was okay. I mean, if I don't get filled fast, I might not hang around and wait. I might have, what do you call it? Trigger. I might be a little trigger happy today, which is not what I mean. I'm the opposite of trigger happy. I want to get out before I press the trigger. I just don't really want to be pulled in on the wrong side. That's what I don't want. Let's check our time. Everybody remember how to check time? Remember, if you're trading live, you go to File and Global Simulation has to be off. Don't forget Ninja 8, Ninja 7, go to Tools, go to Options, and make sure that Confirm Order Placement is not checked, or you will lose money. That's what I meant, Ian. You hit the nose right on the head. No, not that bad. Like halfway there, halfway like that. Now, see, I'm up 100, so I could take that off. If I take that off, then we will see the results of my trade up here at realized. Okay? Or we could just leave it on and see what happens. It is a dicier report, Bob, because it's just a report that's being read. It's definitely not a news trade. You're right. It's different because of that. What happens on this trade is gold moves and then it reverses usually. I hope that my bracket is big enough to not get me in on the wrong side. Okay. Sometimes it just bursts. So, we could have a burst. That would be nice. I'd be real happy. I'm going to go over my trade. We're right at the verge of having too many features. So bracket of 7, entry time 13:59:59, breakout trade, strategy internal. I'm going for 2 positions, 3 ticks and 12 ticks, 12 tick stop. And if my first target's hit, I'll just move to break even -2. I almost always do that. It gets me real close to break even on every trade. The chart on the right strategy button is grayed out. I've had that happen too, Leon. I think as long as you get the icon, you're okay. I've had that happen myself, where it seems like the strategy shouldn't be working, but it is. So, are you using sim or real money? It shouldn't affect the trade. I think the only thing that could happen is it's possible the trade won't fire off. So I don't think you can lose money because you understand what I mean? I have had that happen too, and I'm not, usually if I reboot my system, or make a new chart. It solves the problem. So after the trade, you might want to do that. So I'm just debating if I really what I want to do. I guess I'm surprised that my enabled button needs to be so long before it shows the whole word. I wonder if there's a way to stretch that out. There must be. There must be. Without stretching out my, see what I mean? I mean, I know this is the enabled button, but I'd like to see it. I wanted to check the time. News, having the news on this particular trade doesn't really mean that much. Chantal, there's a way to do it? Okay. Sorry about that. So remember, time.is, and then I like to close it and bring it back. I like to close it and bring it back. If you're not exact, send me an email and I'll send you dimension 4. It's in your welcome email. Dimension 4 is in the welcome email. Go to the column divide between connection and enable. Hold which mouse button? Hold the mouse slide left. I must be in the wrong spot because it won't let me do it. Is it up top? There we go. Thank you. Oh, that's a nice way to hide the account. Awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ed. See how much you learn in the trade room? That's why I love it here. And now I could just have this normal. Bingo. Thanks, Ed. Make sure you only have one workspace open. See, I don't need two workspaces open. Just one. I don't need two clocks either. Oh, you know, I'm an idiot. Maybe I am an idiot. There's the clock. I don't need two clocks. Do you all realize what I just did? I do that. All right, we got the recording. I hope everybody's okay. Not too many questions. We're okay. I'm gonna probably give it up to 30 seconds possibly for the trade to fill. There's certain things that I am concerned with. PP on top of the open. This is a magnet here. High of the day is a magnet. If it hits either of them, I'd be in heaven if it hits them right away. So we'll see. Any questions? Everybody's okay? You see the $100 because I was up 100 this morning. So last time, the settings I'm using. Bracket of 7, 1359.59, target of 3, target of 12, stop of 12. Okay? And I'm moving my stop to break even minus 2. Break even profit, break even trigger. We set them to 0 now. Okay, not 99 anymore. Yeah, it sounds about right, Aspen. Sounds about right. Because gold is $10 a tick. I don't like where that sound is coming from because it's telling me something's going on in my computer and I don't know what. And that always worries me. Hmm. Now remember, this is an unofficial trade. I don't want anybody really even trading it. I really want you to just watch it. I want to see how my testing does. You notice my chair is not squeaking, Stephen. It's gone. I don't have the same chair. My chair broke. I had to throw it away. That other sound, I'd have to put WD-40 on my computer. I do miss my chair. I got to get a new one. I'm in a straight back chair. It's killing me. So like I said, I don't know how much time I'm going to give this particular trade. I was thinking 30 seconds, but not sure I can go that long. No matter what, I won't do more than 30 seconds. But I could do 5 seconds and cancel it. I could do 10. I could do 30. I could do 20. 7-tick bracket. It's a pretty big bracket. So folks, I'll give it 30. That's it. It's not really moving. Not getting a pop. So I'm putting my cursor where the trade would have been. Let's see if I was careless, but all my testing, I didn't go longer than 30 seconds. So, and my testing, when it worked within 30 seconds. So these are the things you have to stick to. You have to. And in fact, when I look at my notes, most of the fills were quite a bit before 30 seconds. Okay. So even though It might work. 13, 17, 70. You're 6 ticks. I'm 1 tick away from being filled right here. I'm filled. I would be filled. Okay. But I'm over a minute and 20 seconds. It's just not, it wouldn't work for me. It wouldn't work for me. So gold, not crazy about the news right at this moment. Let's watch for a minute. Let's watch for a minute. This would be our fill. Okay. This is our fill roughly. We're about 1 tick in profit. We'd be about 1 tick in profit. I canceled after 30 seconds, Aspen. I didn't automate it, but due to my testing. And look, it would have been a profitable trade, but you could always say that about a million trades, about a million of them. It just moved way slower than most of them did. So I just have to note that in the journal that it was a minute and a half before the FOMC minutes really started moving. But it's going to test that PP. It's going to test that PP because that's a big magnet. So I'll just keep a note that I canceled this one, but I'll trade. I'll look at the next one. See, tested the PP. Tested the PP. Steve, you go long there. Sim is easy, Aspen, because there's no fear. It's like I said, I really got to get my feet back under me this week. Um, that could have been a great magnet trade. Look, if you think about it, let's at least learn a lesson from this. We were under all the support for the whole trade, under all the support. The news came out and they said they would gradually raise rates, which is not great news. But see, that's not great news. Gold likes that news. Okay. I mean, no, it's not great news, but gold didn't like that news. So it headed down, which is kind of interesting. Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe the market likes the news that the rates are going to get increased slightly. It really doesn't matter. What we have here is a test of the PP. And I think the fact that gold was under all the support, sorry, resistance, under all the resistance, and the PP was the support there, it was probably worth the risk to take a trade short with a stop about 1810. Okay, it could have been a pretty low risk trade. So a lesson is learned. A lesson is learned. Look, it's not a standard news trade. It's perfectly okay to cancel a trade. It's perfectly okay to miss trades. We will miss many trades. I will choose wrong indexes. You can't panic. You can't worry about it. It just is what it is. Okay? It is what it is. See, this one, it just was slow to develop. My testing never showed a single one work this way. So if my testing showed that after a minute and a half, gold started moving, then I would have stayed in the trade without hesitation. But all my fills were within 30 seconds. So you've got to go at your testing. You have to trust it. You have to. It's going to test it's going to test the low. It's going to go to 13, 13, 20. Very possibly. Watch. Watch this. I'm only aggravated. I'm a little bit aggravated with myself because I want to do a lot more of the magnet trades. And that was a good magnet trade. Here's your gift. Okay. It's almost a market gift. Not quite, but almost. It's more of a gift than me being able to use NinjaTrader's writing tools, which is, let's not talk about me and NinjaTrader. Let's try that instead. Here's an area that's very powerful magnet, okay, as is where it just tested the low, okay? Now is where I would consider a reversal if I were so inclined, okay? Because look at all the magnets that got hit. The PP got hit, the low of the day got hit. Is gold going to keep going down? See, you don't know. It's not a news trade. So you don't have news numbers to help you, okay? It's still OCOs, Bob. They are still OCOs on NinjaTrader 8, okay? So just for fun, look at this son of a gun. Do you think I'm going to lose sleep because I didn't take this trade? I'm not. Do you know how many times we do this in the room over the year? So many times. You just cannot let it bother you. That's rule number one. Just like you can't let stop outs bother you. If you let stop outs bother you, you can't trade the news. It's just that simple. You're going to get stopped. It's going to go the way you don't want it to go. It's going to happen. And it might happen a couple of times a week. It might happen a couple of times a week. Okay? There's nothing you can do about it. So you have to just live with the fact that you'll miss some trades. It doesn't matter. You'll get some that you didn't think you'd get also. It's just how life works, especially news trading. Okay? Anybody want to ask me some questions? David, I read your email. I have no idea what's going on with your platform. I'm being honest. I don't know. It makes me think that you uh, think you hit the X and you didn't. That's what it almost sounds like because the program only is doing it to you. I have hundreds of users out there using it and no one has that issue. So I don't believe it's a software issue. That's why I don't believe it's a software issue. If I had 10 people writing me in saying I changed my charts and it put me in a trade, then I would say, okay, we better look at the software. It only will put you in a trade if your enabled box is marked with a trade. Otherwise, it can't put you in a trade. It's not live. It's not live. I can change any chart. I can go to any instrument. I'm not going to get put in a trade. Well, I need to go in something that exists. Canadian dollar, I'm not getting put in a trade. I can go to, I mean, if I had to worry about being put into a trade when I didn't have a trade enabled, man, the yen had a nice move too. Everything moved. Everything moved. And the yen looks like it would have been a good quick move because we should really look at the second chart. I'm going to have to maybe reevaluate this trade, to be honest. I'm making this a second chart. Not 30, my mistake. I want to see if I can tell what time the move started exactly with the yen. The yen had a nice move. 318, 14. I can't really tell with that. Let me do something else. I have to be careful. I don't want to poke around and buy something when I'm in the wrong place. I want to take a peek at the range trade, the range chart. So you could see at exactly 2 o'clock, it was half a minute. Nope, the yen didn't move any more quickly than it started moving. Not quite as fast. Not that fast. It wasn't that much faster than gold, if anything. So I'm guessing that all the indexes, for whatever reason, they just took longer to look at the data today from the chart than they did normally, and that's why gold filled so slowly. Would have filled so slowly. The correct way to cancel a trade. Okay, good question. Bear with me. Let me just put my chart back. The best way to cancel a trade is to just turn the box off enabled. Okay? The second thing you can do, Aspen, is you could right click the chart trader area and cancel all orders. Make sure nothing's out there floating around that you can't see. Okay? What's the correct way to exit once you're filled and you want to get out? Now, that, Aspen, there's no perfect answer. There's a million different ways. The worst way is to hit the close button. The best way is to have orders on the chart and move them into the price. Okay? The close button lets the broker fill you at the worst market position that they're allowed to give you. That's why you don't want to hit the close. Okay? Look at the move that gold made. I'm just flabbergasted. I didn't expect this. Obviously, if I expected it, I wouldn't have gotten out of the trade. I would have let the trade play. It went all the way to S3 mid. And it's still, I wouldn't bet on the reversal yet. So there is another trade tonight. There's no higher. It's a really tiny trade. I don't even know if I want to have the room, but it tests so-so. It's not the Kaishin manufacturing, it's the Kaishin services. It usually hits the first target. See, these are all magnets. That's a magnet. S2 is a magnet. S3 mid is a weak magnet. S3 is a good magnet. Okay. But this will not be the first time we miss a big move. It just happens. You can't torture yourself over it. But it's important to understand maybe how the next time we could catch it. Fanning EMAs, SMAs. See how they're creating a fan in one direction? That's a very bearish formation. bullish in the opposite direction. But the big thing was it wanted to test that PP and then it wanted to test the low and then it just kept going. There's no way to know it's going to keep doing that. You just don't know. But there was a pretty good shot that I could have taken a shot at the magnet trade for the PP. So it's okay. I told you before I'm a little bit got to get my trading legs back on from the break. That's my excuse. It's not a good excuse. It's not a good excuse. But I gave it 30 seconds. I would have had to give it at least, it looked like a minute and 15, which my testing just shown it wouldn't have done it. That's what I was saying, Bob. There is a way to do that, I believe, but it's going to require a lot of testing. Bob, I believe that's possible. Bob is asking about that OCO not being an OCO if you use an ATM instead. Bob, I think the key, and I'm not positive, you're going to have to test. I just haven't had time. Bob, the key is, I believe, setting an ATM strategy up here and then changing your mode to ATM strategy. Okay? And Peter, there was no HIRA for today's report because Jay says, in Jay's opinion, this trade has not been moving. And today it moved. Okay? And he's right. Here's the thing, Peter, the way that we traded it, we traded this trade as a trap trade, and they haven't been filled in months. They have not been getting filled. So he canceled the trade. My testing showed gold worked, but not this slowly. It worked more slowly than my testing showed. So, look, when the market does something different, you have to accept that fact, put it in your journal so that you could be ready for it the next time. That's all you can do. And that's the lesson learned. Not that big a deal. Okay? Good for you, David. That was a potential reversal point. Definitely. S3 mid, especially after a drop like that. You got to be willing to risk 10 ticks, I think. Stephen, I don't know what that means. Oh, that was a perfect one-click range trade, right? Because, but you have to have a little bit of guts, though, Stephen, right? Here's the thing, folks. You want to learn something for real? Do you really want to learn something? Make this really worthwhile? Let's download that gold data. Today's the 3rd. GC218. Let me see if I can do this the right way. Here's the idea of the one-click range trade, okay? You have to notice that you have a consolidation. We have a consolidation from here to here, okay? That's your consolidation. So if you put a trade in where it either gets you into the trade above that consolidation or below that consolidation, that's what the one-click range trade does. It draws the range. If you see the range, you put the range on and just wait and see if your trade works. You could also use a MACD. Some people use a MACD instead of this particular indicator. Stephen, what's the absolute best indicator to show consolidation, in your opinion? Isn't it that 1 in 3 separate panel thing that you gave me? Or not? Or you tell me. You know what I'm asking you. Oh, okay. He just used the squeeze. The problem with the squeeze is it just doesn't always fire off at the right time. So, but see, I don't like that Anna squeeze. I don't think. See, Steve, it doesn't make sense to me. It's firing in the wrong direction. That's what I don't understand about it. It should be going down. Like, look at, let me show you guys a couple of things that are kind of interesting, if I have them. This is all worth learning because this all can make you money above and beyond news trading. Of course, it's related to a news event, right? Gold wouldn't have moved this way without the news event. I don't think my hyperscalp is working. Let me use my RS squeeze because this is free. See, Steve, I like that better. There's our consolidation. This worked pretty well. This worked pretty well. Here's our consolidation. Here's my bad drawing. Sorry. I don't know if I can draw with with Ninja all the time. It's not totally my fault. There's our consolidation. Okay. There's the breakout of the consolidation. That's your short. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. For us, it would get us in here. It would get us in at about 13.15.70. It's not Carter's squeeze, Stephen, but it was sort of copied for a little bit from Carter's squeeze. I love Carter's squeeze. I love John Carter. Even though he's a great salesman, I love the guy. I think he's a great trader. I think, he's in it for the money, but he has some good tools. He has some good tools. He's a good trader. I mean, there's no denying that. The guy's an excellent trader. So maybe on these type of trades, I'll get into the habit. We'll keep the squeeze on. Keep the squeeze on. I don't really need the volume. I know we're going to have enough volume to trade. The squeeze is more useful. Steven, you're in his which room? He has doesn't he have 80 rooms? You're in his futures room? He has an options room too. You do the option room. Okay. Is he doing futures and options in his room? And what does he charge for that room, Stephen? That's not bad. $1.47. That's not bad. All right. Listen, I definitely like the Anna squeeze better. I'll show you something else. I don't know if it's going to work. It's something I bought. You know what? I'm just going to leave it as is. I think you can't get a more perfect setup than this. It couldn't be more perfect than this. That was a perfect setup. If someone can tell me why my machine's making that noise, I'll give you $1. It's trying to tell me something. Anyway, the next trade room, um, Listen, this is a big learning week, so I say come to the trade rooms no matter what. No idea what I'm going to do with this trade tonight. No idea. Um, Here's the invite. The odds are possible it could be a cancel because it's just not a big moving trade. It's really not. So you're not going to get rich on this trade no matter what. You know, I could just cancel the trade and we'll make $100 today and call it a day. Tomorrow we have a lot of stuff. Brian, if you want that indicator, I'll send it to you. It's free. It's just called R squeeze. R squeeze. I think it's one of the best indicators. The squeeze is the best. Squeeze is great. It's just real clear to read. It's really clear to read. You know, like any indicator, it doesn't always keep up with the market. It's called R squeeze, David. R squeeze. Brian, you know the routine. Shoot me an email just so I don't forget. But hey, look, I was not expecting a one-trick range trade on this trade. I had a setup, I had a plan, and it didn't meet my plan, and that's why I didn't make money. I was not thinking a little bit outside of the box. Maybe I should have been. David, make Google your best friend, for God's sakes, will you? There's about 8,000 documents on the squeeze. Google the squeeze. Everybody should make Google their best friend. Everybody. Because I don't know everything. Make Google your best friend. If you Google the squeeze, you'll find everything you need. Everything you need. Everything's from Job, David. We give you everything. No joke. I want credit for it. I taught you about the squeeze. Give me the credit. No joke. You know what I mean. I'm not insulting you. I'm just saying if make Google your best friend. That's all. It's the greatest thing, and you know it's the greatest thing in the world. I had no intention of insulting you. Just because I said for God's sakes. No, it's not custom from JOBB. The squeeze, I don't know who invented the squeeze, to tell you the truth. Carter and Centers always like to take credit for inventing it, but they didn't. And everybody says they stole it and sold it, and that it was always free. And I don't know if that's true or not, but their squeeze was for TradeStation, and it was great. It really worked well. Then there was a guy that worked with the oil money, Chris, and he had something called K-Strat. It was a really nice squeeze. He disappeared. I think K-Strat's still floating around, but now it's free. And as Steven says, it's when the Bollinger Bands are inside the Keltner channels. That's what generates the squeeze. And that's why that's why it's free, because 1 million people can make it. See you, Bri. 1 million people can make it. But you could see how this would have worked beautifully with our one trade. See, what you would have done is you would have noticed this. So let's say you noticed that, right? Let me see if I can show you how this would work. So you disconnect live, go to replay, because I downloaded data. Today is 1/3/2017, and we're going to, let's say, 145. Let's see what the market looks like at 145. And then you got to go to the instrument that you're trading, GC 218. Okay. This is great for a lesson on replay also. If you get no prices, hit the F. Then if you get no prices, double check that your date is right. I know I downloaded the data. Make sure you enter the right date. Thank you. It's always something silly that you do. Always. Okay? Please. 318, give me some prices. Oh. I'm not used to the simulator. I'm not used to the replay. Now we should get prices if I hit the F. No, but that's not the right contract. It's 218. Okay, thank you. There we go. All right, so we had that consolidation, but it really hasn't happened yet. It's starting here, I believe. Let's see. It saved my consolidation. Let's remove it. I'm not ready yet. Let's see. We want to get closer to 14, 2 o'clock. Let's do this. See, this is a nice consolidation too. The key is you have to be able to see it, okay, while it's happening. So the way you set the trade up, you go to strategies, you go to breakout. I'm going to remove my breakout, start from scratch. You go to breakout. And Steve says he likes the 20 bar look back. So you set one click bars look back to 20, but make sure your entry type is one click range trade. Okay? Steve, I think that's going to be too far back for this time. See the red dots on the 0 line? These babies? You want to go that far back? See, I want to start here. This is where I want to enter. But what Steve is saying is that these red dots are the squeeze. They're the actual squeeze. But see, I don't see it that way. However, if you look at the price here, he's right because it's consolidating there. That indicator is called RS squeeze and it's free. Steve, I just want to see something. 10 versus 20 on the look back. Then you just set the trade to true. Okay? The key is now you have this button. After you press play, you'll start getting a range drawn. See? It starts at there. Now, you would actually enter this trade would get entered as many ticks below that bottom line or as many ticks above the top line that you have ticks above range or ticks below range set. That's your setting for your entry. I like it 3. I would not recommend doing it while the trade's not fired off. So, but you should have this stuff done before your trade is happening, okay? That's the better way to do it. I don't like doing it this way. But I like this setting set at 3. I can set it to default for the future. 4 is okay. You're allowed. Okay, so now it'll just redo it. It'll look back 10. Leon, just send me an email. I have to press play. Don't forget to start it because we're in replay. Okay, we're in replay. So we've got this consolidation, right? And we're before the report. So it's a good time to put the trade on, right? I forgot to press true, which is fine. Just go back, press true. Make sure your trade is on. Enabled, true. Okay? Then it'll work. Okay? I'm doing something wrong. Hold on. Gotta be in replay. There we go. I must not have pressed the true. So it'll draw the range. There it is. And now when it breaks out of that range, and it's not the trade yet, Steve is saying, because look, we're not 2 o'clock yet. We're not 2 o'clock yet. So Steve, correct me if I'm wrong. Doesn't the range move with us 10 bars at a time? But Steve, that's why I like 10, because it moves. Either one is fine, I think. Does everybody understand? Anybody have any questions? It's a fascinating trade. And the interesting thing is it would have worked here too. If you would have seen this consolidation, you could have done it earlier. Had a quick 10 ticks. But see, what did I forget to do? Let's go back. Let me show you what I forgot to do. See, it's not in the trade yet. You have to do one other thing, and it's very important. You have to do one pretty important thing. Watch. Don't forget to enable the darn trade. Click the button twice. Okay? Put the trade on. That will help. Now watch. Now when it drops down, it'll take you into the trade. Now look. If you entered here, you would not have gotten hurt. You would have made a few dollars. If you entered here, if you put the trade on, you wouldn't be in the trade. Three ticks. So it'll either take you in at the high or the low. Okay. Let me do that one time more because I think, Steve, there's something I'd missed. There's something I missed about the strategy. So I'm just going back a tiny bit, putting it on 2 speed. It's on 1-click range trade. I'm just clicking true. So Steve, what you were saying is you want it to stay on the chart. What were you saying about you wanted it to stay on the chart? The button at the top. Right, you want the button to stay on the top so it's always enabled. I would probably just manually trail it for now, Steve. I see PP as a major area of target. What Steve is saying is you can set up a trailing stop also. So Steve, what you're saying is the trade's over. But see, it should stay up here, Steve, and then all you have to do is hit the enable button. You follow me? Am I missing something that won't work? So that's a way to do it. So it's still going down. Did it again. Okay, and then it cancels. And then I want to do it again. Enable it. Double click it. I'm got another potential trade. If it breaks this area and heads down to that low. What do you mean you don't have that on your screen? NinjaTrader 8? Or because you trailed it? Leon, you probably haven't enabled it. It's a special trade. You have to have the breakout chosen, and 1-click range trade has to be in the entry type. Watch the video. Everybody's got to watch that video. It's in there. There's a lot to remember. I know. There's a lot to remember. Trust me, I know. All right. Stephen, why don't you have Control Center on your screen? You just don't use it? You don't use it? You do it differently. Okay. You don't use the Control Center. That's fine. Everybody does it differently. Well, this would have worked really well today. But the FOMC was kind of slow moving today. Sometimes it doesn't move that slow and you won't have a chance to do it. So that could happen. It might move so fast, it might have been a breakout trade. Okay? It might have been a breakout trade today. Now it's done. I mean, it is going to go down and test that low again. We know it. Click enabled. Put the trade on again. Go to low. Steven, what version of Ninja are you running? There's no way around it, Bob. I'm telling you right now. It's just not going to happen. Bob, it can't be done. I've talked to the programmer about it. It's just not a possibility. And Jay doesn't know. I've talked to him about it. I'm being honest with you. You could email support. He'll see it, but there won't be an answer. It'll just come back to me. I'm telling you. We use OCOs. It's the whole point of JOBB. It was the way they designed it. The only hope, Bob, is the way I was telling you, with some experimentation. Maybe there's a way to get around it using ATMs, but I'm being honest, there's just no other. It's the whole concept of JOBB was OCOs. It would require major reprogramming. I've talked to the programmer. Um, Bob, it just is what it is, if you follow me, if you know what I mean. It's just what it is. It's the way they wrote the software at the time. At the time. Sometimes, it's a different strategy. It's a different strategy. We're not playing both sides. That's not our goal. Don't get me wrong. It's a good strategy, I think. And a lot of people do it manually. And what we're talking about is getting filled on both sides. You get filled on short. Sometimes you'll get some money and it'll reverse and then you'll get filled long. Our software won't do that because it cancels the opposite side. Bob, I think you're still always going to be subject to the fake outs. If you think about it, you're always going to occasionally get caught in a whipsaw. I don't think there's a complete way around of it. Stephen, we have to talk on the phone because I don't understand what you mean. So let's next week talk on the phone when I get through all the tech support. All right? Or if you put it on just put it in writing for me, I could send it to the programmer. If you have a question that I could send to him that I haven't sent to him, and that's what I'm saying, Bob, I've asked him about OCO because believe me, it's something people ask me. Not always though, Bob, because if you get a move in one direction, you could have a 5 tick stop. The way that it works is when the move is preferably unidirectional, but we have methods that we use that if it pulls back, you could still get filled. So that was quite a one-trick range trade, a squeeze trade, call it what you will. Combination of the two, and unexpected for me. Bob, I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm saying make a very, very simple ATM. Because what I believe is if you choose the mode of ATM, it ignores all of your settings and uses the ATM. And if you come up with something, please tell me. I want to know. I'm only one person. I just cannot test every single thing. I don't have time. Steve, that was some move, huh? Now, why did you do it as a consolidation trade? I'm just curious. Is that something you always do with the FOMC minutes? What was your reasoning for choosing that type of a trade? That I would like to know. Ah, it's the only trade you've been using. Wow. Wow. All right. You're willing to do a little webinar on it then? I assume you can deal with taking the mic. Great, great. Let me know when you're ready. I'm serious. Let's figure on what do you think? 45 minutes? Is that enough? And let me know when you're ready and I'll promote it to the members. We're just doing it to members. Well, they'll probably have questions. So before you know it, the time goes fast. But let me know when you're ready, and I'll book it. And I'll tell you, to be a learning experience for me too. I'm dying to do it. It did it on the 6E also. I don't have the data downloaded, the replay data. All right, folks. Very interesting. Always something to learn in here. That's why I recommend everybody come in here. Always something to learn. Our software has very powerful tools in it that even we are just beginning to understand. That's the truth. Even the gentleman that designed it, Jay, honestly, he was not aware of all the things it could do. And that's okay. Nobody knows everything. That's why we are here, to help each other. Okay? What was I going to tell you, Stephen? I forgot. I don't remember what I said. Oh, no, he's the owner. He's one of the owners. He's in the military. So time is at a premium for him. He's near North Korea. But him and I go back and forth for real about what trades to do and how to do them. Because he's a real good analyzer. He does really good analysis. But we're in the room live, so sometimes it's very different. Because look, he doesn't like that FOMC trade. But I noticed it's been moving with gold. So now maybe the rule is wait 2 minutes, right? If I would have waited 2 minutes, bingo. Maybe you just got to be willing. Look, I made a mistake. Let's be brutal here. You want to be brutal? You want to be brutal? Let's look at the time. Look at the brutality of this. Here's what I did wrong. And from my mistake, you learn. We all learn. Here's what I think I did wrong. If in my own personal analysis, when I think about this trade, when I look back at this trade, what I did wrong, and I'm going to clean it off for a second because it doesn't matter. And let me get rid of the replay. What I did wrong is really simple. I neglected all of that resistance and I didn't go short to take advantage of the magnet. I mean, that's what I did wrong. If you really want to uh, be honest about it. No, Ian, not right now. That's the error I made. If you want to talk about, was there an error made in this trade? An error in judgment is a better way to put it. An error in judgment. But the problem is I had a setup. I had a plan and my plan didn't work. I then didn't move quickly enough into an out of the box other plan. Okay. Even though I saw it, I said this is going to test the PP. This is going to test the low. I saw it. So maybe I was just afraid to do it. It's possible. But either way, I think we keep the squeeze on gives you the strength to take that trade, right? You get a little backup from your indicators. So I love this stuff. I learned a lot today just myself. So any questions? Explain that, Stephen. Gold's rocking. Yeah. Stephen, let me go live. Gold made a nice reversal, huh? All right, folks. Good lesson. Look at that reversal. Wow. That's big. Steven, can you send me a screenshot of like your screen? How many monitors do you use in the trade? Please tell me just one. Can you just send me a screenshot of that monitor? Okay. I just want to see what it looks like, what your screens look like. All right, folks. I guess I'm getting out of here. You only have one chart up at a time? What time frame? Because that's another issue. This one trade, one tick trade, you could do ticks, you could do Renko, it could be anything. You use a 210 tick? Why 210? It's nice on the reversal. Not as good on the squeeze, that particular squeeze. But the original move, you can't kill that original move, was amazing. The original move was great. All right, folks. Very, very, very interesting stuff. I'm a minute. I love 1 minute. I just love 1 minute. I'm so comfortable trading on 1 minute. I think the squeeze is really smooth. And ticks are, what's the word I'm looking for? You get a lot more ticks than you do in 1 minute. So that's why you like the longer look back. In other words, a 210 tick versus a 1 minute, you'll have more bars on the tick chart. Look at gold, man. It's on crack. Steve, I think we've created a monster. It almost sounds like you could make a whole business on this one trade. Because every market will always consolidate, Stephen. It'll never end. And you never have to worry about a market changing. If it does, you just go on to a different one. Because some market somewhere is always consolidating. That's right, and you don't have to wait for news. Because some market somewhere is always consolidating at a certain time. How are the opens, Steve? Like, how's the NQ at the open? I would think it would be good. I think instead of, well, all right, folks. I'm gonna get out of here. This was good stuff. Any last questions? Yeah, I'll be here tonight. What is it? 8:15. 8:15. It's a weird little trade. It's like Kaishin in manufacturing, but it just doesn't move as good, and that doesn't even really move. So it's not a big mover, but I think that there's something good about these small little reports, and we'll see what happens tonight. I'll explain what I mean. Okay. All right, everybody. I'll see you at 8:15. You want me to throw up the invite? I have it right here. Here's the invite. If I'm awake after doing 8 million tech support emails, which I'm sure I have. All right. I'll see you guys all later. See everybody later. Okay. Thank you. So long. Oh, wait. There you go. Copy that and then I'll go. All right, folks. See you tonight. So long.